Now, does anybody know the verses right before where we started in 15:22? If you have your scripture, you may want to look that up real quick. It's really interesting what just happened right before this story. Jesus is talking about, say that real loud. I still do. Things that defile, things that come out of your mouth, things that are in your head come out of your mouth. Remember that? So just look for a second what actually just came out of someone's mouth. Send her away because she cries out after us. Well, that's interesting. It's also interesting that Jesus said the things that defile, the things that come out of our mouth, and he doesn't say a word. He replied to them, I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Again, Matthew is showing us a clue to where Jesus belongs, to the house of Israel. Now, the disciples have just heard this a couple chapters before. He's just repeating exactly what he told them. That's interesting, because they really liked what he said before, and if we use that verse a lot about the house of Israel to mean us, you need to reread that in context of what he's saying here, because what he's saying here is these Canaanite people, these Gentiles, they are not who I came for. But then she pursued Jesus. She came and knelt before him and said, Lord, help me. Another very huge clue to how Matthew's trying to puzzle these pieces together. When she says, Lord, a Canaanite would have never said to a Jew of any kind this phrase, Lord. And he answered her, it isn't right to take the children's bread and throw it to their dogs. Now, I want us to, how many of you have a pet, specifically a dog, in your house? How many of you dress them up? That didn't happen during Jesus' time. People didn't dress dogs up. They really weren't part of the quote-unquote family. You just need to know that the dogs then were not seen upon as they are today. People didn't, work their whole life around their dog's schedule. They didn't put them on leashes and walk them around the neighborhood. They didn't pick up after them and carry it around in a little bag. None of those things happened. So no matter how much you think this is really sweet of Jesus to talk to her as a dog, probably the better word he was saying here was the word we use for female dog. Listen, you female dog, how dare you call on me, the son of David? You, a Canaanite woman. Now, Matthew really has had Jesus in this story going from rude, ignoring someone, to just plain hateful. That's not the Jesus I learned in Sunday school, the hateful Jesus. So something's going on here, right? Because this is so out of character for the person Jesus is through all of the gospel, all the gospels, all the time. This just doesn't seem to fit with Jesus. To say, hey, listen, by the way, I know you need me, and I know your daughter's really hurting, but you know what? You're just not the right kind of person. Sorry, but see these good people over here? They're all Jews. See their facial features? They kind of look like me. We're family. You, not so much. So why don't you go home, because I can't do for you what I do for family. Now that's just plain hateful, Jesus. I want my loving Jesus back. I don't know about you, but when I get to this point of the story, I'm like, please bring me the Jesus I know back. She comes to him again. Yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs eat crumbs that fall on their master's table, from their master's table. Wow. Okay, Jesus, I'm a dog. If you say I am, I am. But I need your help. And here's the Jesus we all know and love. Then Jesus replied to her, "Woman, your faith is great. Let it be done for you as you want." And from that moment, her daughter was cured. Wow. Now, I just wonder if Jesus is redefining here a phrase that he's given to the disciples earlier on, house of Israel. I just wonder if now Jesus is promoting that the house of Israel actually belongs to Canaanites also. That those who have been our enemies for years and years and years, those structures have now passed away. And I kind of wonder, and please, I'm glad we're not voting, as I said, what if Lutheran equals Canaanite, and those structures have now passed away? I also think that Jesus is saying, Jew, who always claimed the house of Israel, those structures have now all passed away. And as the good gospel, Southern gospel hymn would say, we are all God's children now. I kind of wonder, is this where Jesus is going? Is this what Matthew is trying to tell us? That all along, that Jesus has Canaanite people in his genealogy, and he runs across a Canaanite woman, and now he encompasses her into the family, and Matthew just kind of weaves this story as he goes along. If that's true, then seeing others, seeing ourselves as others do, may be a false dichotomy for us. It actually may speak to the very structures that keep us from being one with other people. It may be the very thing, that one phrase may be the very thing that if turned on its head, where we said, what if we could see ourselves and others as we all are together? Now, like I said, please understand, I learn best by arguing. So when pushing back on all kinds of things, it's because I think it's a great idea. But what happens if we turn it on its head? What happens if what our world is hoping for is a co-creating, organic, living community, and that we were the leaders of a co-creating community? Now, I have to say that this group, the ECLA, I didn't say that right? ELCA. I'm from LA, so it's hard not to put those letters, LA, together. You are leaders in the thought and in the process of bringing unlike people together. You have this history current and this history far, far removed. It's a part of who you are, the fabric, the very fabric of who you are. So this shouldn't be a foreign concept to you, but one that you can embrace. But what I want to know is, can we embrace it in a way that's just a part of the natural workings of our lives? Now, I heard it said, even here, that we are in a time, I think, did you read the Putnam? Yeah, the bishop did, the Putnam quote. We are in a time, actually, that no one can figure things out.